starts with the data, right?
Right.
Then we had, what is that, info, right? Any meaningful info. And the types are what? We did types of character,
Okay.
number, worker, worker 2, date, boolean. These are the different types of data. Then what we did? Data base, which is basically nothing but storage. Where we keep those meaningful data. Where we keep all those meaningful data. Correct? And what do we do that for? So that later on when we need,
we can retrieve,
manipulate, delete, access, retrieve. Yes, update, insert, whatever we're going to do to when necessary. Right?
Yes.
Alright. How many different types of data there are? Database. There are different database. For example,
number, character, date.
Database.
Oh, database.
Database we have Oracle.
Oh, okay.
MS SQL. SQL Server. Access. DB2. Informix.
SQL Class-3.
Is that Sybase? Sybase. Sybase. Did you bring the pen? Did you buy the pen?
Yeah.
You didn't, right?
No.
Oh. This is the database. What is database consist of?
Tables, rows and columns.
Tables. What tables consist of? What is the characteristics of a table?
Rows and columns.
Primary key, rows and columns.
Must be unique. Oh, what is primary key and for you?
So you were here until, right?
Yeah.
You remember the difference between worker 2 and worker?
Yeah, worker 2 uses every space, yeah.
Yeah, same spaces, okay. You remember these guys? Who doesn't remember this? Tell me, we'll go through that again. If you don't remember, then I don't have to waste my time. So we talked about SQL, which consists of data. Data is nothing but meaningful information. There are different types of data: character, number, worker, worker 2, date, boolean, and others, etc. These are the main 4 characteristics of the 4 types of data that we're going to go through. Number 2 is a database, which is nothing but a storage where we keep the data. And they are different. The biggest database in the world is called Oracle. We have MS SQL Server, we have Access, DB2, Informix, Sybase, etc., etc. Those are relatively small, and these are done for big companies. For example, eBay, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, all those, where they deal with millions and millions of customers. Now, every database is nothing but tables. This consists of
rows and
numerous tables. And in relational database management system, you need at least 1 or more tables. Relational database management system means all the tables are RDBMS. Relational database management system has tables who are interconnected through keys, foreign keys, and primary keys. So what happens? Every table has some characteristics. Characteristics number 1: every table must have a name, and that name must be
Unique.
Unique.
In that database.
In that database, correct. Unique. Every table, who's missing here? Who's talking outside? Now, in the tables, we have names. Every table has a name which is unique. We also have rows and columns. Rows starts from 0, columns starts from 1, 2, 3, 4. And intersection is like a cell. The rows and columns intersection is like a cell, isn't it?
Yes.
If it is a table, if these are all the columns, let's say ID first name, last name, social security number, phone number. Then these are columns, all these are columns, and this should be all your information stored in a table. Every table must have a name. Let's say student 2015. Every table must have at least how many primary key? One primary key. Primary key is what? What is the characteristic of a primary key?
Unique.
And unique identification. Okay? So, did you hear that class about unique identification, primary key? Alright. Did you hear when we talked about our students, our teachers, like how we take a class in a college or university? You weren't here. No. Alright, so let's say, briefly, when you take a class in college, what we give an example. Have you taken a class in college? Okay. So you take, let's say, English 101.
Yeah.
The professor's name is, let's say, who read this today? Yeah, I did. Thank you. Now, who read this? Who remember which class, who I use as a teacher?
Khalid.
Okay, so since you mentioned it, I'm going to say Professor Festus.
Made it.
Okay, so we're going to say, if I have to give a name to the table, correct? You paying attention?
Say that again?
You have to put a name for the table. So if you're taking English 101 class at 8 a.m. till 9 a.m., I can realistic name like this. I can put a realistic name like Professor Festus underscore English 101 underscore 8
To 9
a.m. Right? And he says that I need a table where I can have students' information of what information we're going to do. Let's say columns are
and rows.
these plus first exam, final exam, grade. First name, last name, students, right? So when he first create the table, first say that to the database administrator. He can have, realistically speaking, if he has a student where there can be how many Mohammeds in the class, realistically, at least 2 or 3. So can you use first name as a unique identification? If you say Mohammed, then it's going to be 3 different Mohammed. Even Mohammed Alam, let's say. There can be 2 or 3 different Mohammed Alam. So it's not a very good logical unique identification. What is social security number? That can be unique because no one has it. Right? So you can use that. Most of the schools do that. They have a student ID. So they can say, let's say you go to, which college you go to? Hunter. So they're going to say, CUNY Hunter or age underscore 101. That's your student ID. First name, Sheikh Rahman, social security number, let's say it to this. And then you have your phone number as 212 or something that your first exam you got in 85. You haven't done the final exam yet. Does it make sense? So he made this one as
unique character.
PK.
Okay.
Primary key. We're gonna come to that why need a primary key. Okay. So this is the unit identification. There are 2 things unique in here. One is the name is unique. One is the primary key is unique in the table.
Okay. The name of the table.
Table is very unique. In that database system, you cannot have another table name student 2015. You can have student 2015 underscore 1, student 2015 underscore 2, student until millions or until infinity. That's fine. But you cannot have. And every table should have a logical name. If it is a car dealer, you shouldn't call it, Rose Flowers or something. It doesn't make sense. Right? If you have a 1-800 flower shop, you should call a table's name flowers, rose, lilies, water lilies, whatever. Categorize them in tables. If you have a dealer, then you should have like Mercedes, a table called Mercedes or BMW or something. V number, what's the mileage, what's the price on that, a table like that, correct? Now, we have primary key. Now, what is a foreign key? Foreign key is this, that when you have 2, 3 different tables together, to relate in between 2 tables, I have to have a Foreign key. This is a primary, this is a unique identification, and this is a gateway between two tables or multiple tables.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. The example is this. Let's say you did this. This is student ID. If you have another table, they're still going to have the same ID like that. You're not going to have your student ID for a different table, different student ID. No. It's going to be all over the Hunter College, your student ID. But you probably have another class which is for macroeconomics, correct?
Yeah.
Or you can have a class for calculus, or you can have a class for psychology, sociology. You take the same kind of structural class. You got an A on this one, B on this one, and then you have another class or something. Also, you have another table where you probably have the student ID, your first name, your social security number, student ID, your social security number, your name, your telephone number, and how much your balance is this semester. Right? So, if you wanted to get all these green information, so for example, somebody in your college wants to see, like, okay, who are the A student for this semester? We're going to send them a dean list, or we're going to find out the balance of how much is remaining. So let's say you pay $4,000 semester, but in the beginning you only pay $3,000, but you still have a $1,000 balance, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So he can say, student ID number this. Hi Fatima. You student ID number Puny Hunter 101. Give me his first name, last name, his balance, and also his grades. So isn't he joining like 5-6 tables together?
Mm-hmm.
One table's primary key is another table's foreign key. Or if it is a foreign key on a different table, in this table, it must be a primary key in a different table. So how that works, let me show you how that works. You see the schema here?
Mm-hmm.
There is the schema. This is a very, very important concept that you have to understand. If you do not understand that, SQL is not for you. Very easy, don't get panicked, it's very easy to do and understand. Oh, I hate that green. Let's say, what is the name of this table?
Employee.
Employee? It should be employees, there's the S missing in here. But anyway, employees. In employee tables, these are columns. So can somebody count it and tell, who's my volunteer today? Poppy baby, nice. Poppy baby, how many columns are in there? In employees table. So let's count together.
2.
Employee ID, no. Employee ID 1, count it.
2, 3, 4. Oh, those are rows, no?
7,
11.
8, 9, 10, 11.
So this 11, this is how this column was set up. This table is going to look like. It's going to have a table like this. You're going to have a name lake. Employees. What is the first column?
Employee.
Employee
ID.
Employee ID. What is the second column?
Manager ID.
Manager ID. First name.
No, department ID.
Department ID.
Okay. All right, fine. So first name, last name. Let's say first name, last name, department ID,
Email.
email,
Phone number.
phone number,
Hire date.
hire date,
Job ID.
job ID,
Salary.
salary. So you see, This is how you will put the information in there. Even though they are written that way, but actually your structure is gonna look like that. Make sense? Sheikh, make sense? Here in this table, what is the name of the primary key?
Employee ID.
Employee ID, right?
One primary key.
One employee. How many? Do you see any other PK written in here?
No.
But think about it. Every table has one PK there. Tell me.
Yeah.
Makes it unique.
Because it's all one table unique.
Wait. How do you? You need a garbage bag? There is a garbage bag right there, so you can use this one.
It's right there, garbage bag.
No, so here. Alright. Now, every table, right? See that every table has a PK. Means every table has a
Primary key.
How many PKs are in there?
On.
One. Now, do you see there is another thing called written FK?
Yes.
That's your
Foreign key.
foreign key. But some of the tables don't have any. Some of the table have one. Some tables have two, or you can have three, something like that. But look at this. This is very interesting. In this table, how many foreign keys we have? Employees table. Two. One foreign table. It's actually not all these tables are under foreign key. It's only that one straight to that line. So foreign key 1 is the what?
Department ID.
Foreign key 2 is what?
Job ID.
Job ID. This table has an arrow sign towards who?
Another
Which
foreign
table?
key.
Departments. Departments. This table is a departments. This table has a department ID. This table has a department ID.
No, department.
Take a look.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's the PK.
That's the
So,
primary key.
if it has to be a foreign key in one table, it must be a primary key on a different table. You understand that? Now take a look. Here, there is another foreign key named what?
Job ID.
Job ID. This one has an arrow here with the table name.
Job.
What is the primary key here?
Job ID.
This is a foreign key in here. Now take a look at here. Department ID has a foreign key.
Location ID.
Location ID, but the arrow goes which way? Location.
Location.
What is the name of the primary key?
Location ID.
Really? Location ID?
Locations.
Location. No, location ID is right. The table's name is location.
Location.
Now this one has a foreign key. What's the name of the foreign key?
Country ID.
Where is the arrow goes to? Countries. Country's name, foreign key?
Country ID.
Or, okay, or, okay. Now, PK. Now, one thing. This one has a foreign key. What is the name of the foreign key?
Region ID.
Can you tell without looking that there is a table name?
Reason.
Reasons. And the primary key in that table
Reason
must
ID.
be.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So a foreign key must be a primary key. A foreign key must be a primary key of a different table. Now, does this have a foreign key?
No.
It's not related to another table because these two are interconnected. You don't need another one. But in a relational database management system, you don't need to have a foreign key. You can have a foreign key, you can have multiple foreign keys, but you must have a primary key. Because otherwise, why you need a relation in between them? I can be individual, one table, it's not linked with anybody when you need a foreign key. Foreign key and primary keys are gateways in between two tables. Now take a look at this. Department ID also have a foreign key location ID, but this one, job history, it has a what? Employee ID. This employee ID is same, but these two are not directly connected. It's connected through what?
Department ID.
Department ID. So if I wanted to get information from these two tables, I have to go through connection through here. I cannot just go directly in there. You understand? We'll see that how that works later on. But now take a look. What is the foreign key in here?
Location ID.
And does it have any foreign key name location ID? No, because the arrow is showing that way. Now this table has a primary key name employee ID, which is same thing as that, but there is no relation between these two. So same primary key ID can have in two different tables. But now this one has a foreign key name what? One is department ID, arrowing this way. What is the name? This one has a department ID. These two are same IDs. This is the same ID, same information in there. But two of them are foreign keys in here, one of them is primary key in here. But this one is another foreign key, arrow down to the job. Look at the primary key.
Job ID.
Foreign key is job key, job ID. Primary key is job ID, same thing. So relational database management system, when you relate two tables together, right? One must have a primary key, and that primary key is unique. That table must have a unique, sorry, let me rephrase that. Not necessarily have to have a primary key. One of those two tables must have a foreign key. Okay? And one of the foreign keys is a primary key on a other table. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Any confusion in here?
I have just one question. So
Sure.
every foreign key has a primary key, right?
Every foreign key has a primary key. Foreign key and primary key has nothing to do with each other. Every foreign key and primary key are two different rows. This is I can have this one as a primary key, this one as a primary key, right? I can have this one as a foreign key. I can have a table set up like this way, arrow. This names is probably managers. And this manager ID is going to come in here, become the first column or primary key here, manager ID. That is going to be a primary key in here. So foreign key and primary keys are two different rows, two different sections. But one table must have, every table must have at least one foreign key, primary key. And if that table has a primary foreign key, that foreign key is a gateway to another table. That table, this foreign key is actually a primary key. Now, what is the characteristic of a primary key?
It has to be unique.
It has to be unique. It cannot be null. What does null mean?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Empty.
Empty, not nothing. Empty, not zero. Zero is actually
Something.
like that. No, not character, a number or a space or a byte. Okay, so you cannot
Leave it empty.
leave it empty. So you must put something in there. So when you create the table, you declare this row as a primary key, and then you come in here in the table, let's say student ID and first name and fees and course, and let's say name. So you can have here, let's say Sheikh, and if this is a primary key, and you put down here, let's say SQL, and course is let's say $400, right? You cannot leave this empty. You must. You can leave those empty, that's fine.
But primary key.
But this one you must put something. So you can say 101 or transfer tech 101, whatever you want to name. But you gotta fill that field. You cannot leave. As soon as you leave there and try to insert it, database is gonna tell you, I'm sorry, primary key constraint. That means there is a rule violation in here. You cannot leave that space empty. Exactly. Now, we talked about all these. We do a lot of different commands in SQL, and those commands are categorized in 4 different categories. First one is called
DDL.
which stands for
Data.
data
Definition language.
definition language. And this one has some commands. Those commands starts with something easy to remember called Dr. Cat. D stands for
Drop.
drop. R stands for, don't look at the book,
Rename.
rename,
Create.
create,
Alter.
alter,
Truncate.
truncate. Now we have DML, which most likely you're going to deal with as a tester.
Data
Data manipulation language. Manipulation language. And the things we call it like SUDIs to remember, but don't say that in front in the interview. S for
Select.
select,
Alter.
U for
Update.
Update.
update,
D for delete.
delete,
Insert.
I
I for insert. Now, how can we relate that to the table and the information we are trying to do is we explained yesterday, is just a go over our materials and So when Professor Festus is taking English 101 class,
DDL is data defective. What was it again? DDL?
data definition language.
Data definition.
Definition language. Now, it's in your note, class notes. Now pay attention to this. When you have this and table structure, what did you do? You created this, didn't you? You created a table. After that, you put all the students' information. What did you do?
Insert.
You insert the information. Let's say one of the students came in late and you said, oh one of the students says, listen, my name is not Sheikh, you spell it wrong. Sheikh Rahman, you spell it with R-O. You have to change it. So what do? You update that information. Correct?
Yes.
Something is wrong in the name, you update the information. Now, let's say one of the students at the first exam goes, oh my God, I'm not taking this class, I'm actually dropping that. So you don't need that information in that table. What are you doing?
We do
You're
drop
deleting
it.
his information.
Okay.
Sheikh, you're paying attention?
Yeah.
You understand it?
I was writing it down. I missed what you were saying, the first part.
Okay,
When
which
you,
one?
When you started talking about.
Alright, so what we do first, we create a table. Why did we create a table? Professor Festus English 101, 8 p.m., 8 a.m. class need a table structure where he can put his
Data.
student information. So you have to create the structure first. First name, last name, first exam, or name, telephone number, email address, and grade, and all those things. Somebody has to create that table. What did you do? You created a table.
Right.
After that, all the information you put in there, is student number 1, is student number 1 or 2, until is student number n. N. Do you know what this means? You will see a lot of things. 1, 2, 3, n. Why you write like that?
Infinity?
No. It's not infinity.
Right?
No.
No.
Okay. Good thinking, both of you. That yes, it is infinity, looks like, goes. Yes, it can go until infinity.
On and on?
Yes, also, it is ending in there. It's this, in computer, in programming language or something, anytime you don't know how many datas are coming in, so what you do is, that it's going to start with 1, first one,
No, you
you're
don't
going to
know
go to
what's in
second, third, and you don't know how many goes in there, so it goes n, means n can be any number. It can be 28, it can be 2000, it can be 1 million or something. So you said, until n number, let me know what is the n number later on. Okay? So if I say how many students in here, let's say 17. 17 people come in. Some others 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This n is equal to actually 17. So I need 17 rows. What if 3 more people come in? Now n changes to 20. So you can always go like dot dot dot. That means in between whatever the number is, the last number is going to be defined later on. Okay? Now, we talked about
We don't create.
this table structure, we created it, we inserted information in there. One of the student named Sheikh Rahman, he said you misspelled my name, R-O instead of R-A. So I'm gonna be updated. I first inserted all the information, then I update the information if anything wrong or I need to update it. Maybe email address has changed. Maybe he said, you know what, I moved to a new place, my new telephone number is this.
Anything like
Anything needs to be changed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we update.
So you update it. Then after that, let's say first exam, somebody else flunked and he said, I'm not taking this class anymore. So he is dropping the course. Professor Festus doesn't need that anymore. He said, I'm deleting this information. That one particular role. Right? Now, let's say that Professor Festus says, you know what, all the students are getting 75, 85, and before the final exam, I should put 1 extra credit. So if you tell me that, okay, you know what, English 101, write an essay about American gun control, or write an essay about, it should be anything, it can be anything, or like write an essay about, like our, let's say Shakespeare, and I'll give you 5 extra points. So you are actually altering the structure and putting a new information in there.
Add
This
a
is not
table.
updating the information, you are actually
Adding.
updating the structure of the table. Therefore, that's the definition language. So that's why you are altering it. You're altering the structure. Not altering that. Somebody's name is being, misspelled or something.
It's like add a new table something?
No, add a table column in there.
Column, okay.
So you're altering, yes.
I think like when you do anything about the table, like the structure of the table is DDL.
Right.
When
These
you
are the
start-
ones that you manipulate. Why are you manipulating? Manipulating what?
Oh. Control.
You are actually
Control.
getting information. You're trying to do something with this information, not the table. So these are the table. That's why this is a DBS job. It's not your job. It's not as administrator. But I'm teaching you this.
Table time.
Okay. So now, let's put this one. Rename. Let's say he wrote this one X, but said, you know what, doesn't make sense. Change this one. Change this name. Change the EX name to extra credit. That's when they're gonna rename it. So rename is also has something to do with that structure, or you can rename the table. Understand that?
Yeah, it's not an update. Okay.
It has nothing to do with the information inside the table. It has everything to do with the structure of the table, the column names, tables name. So that goes. Now, Professor Festus finished the semester and he has a new semester came in, all the new students. These students are all left because they all passed or failed, whatever that happened. Even somebody got an A, B, C, D, whatever the grade is, but they're not taking this class, repeating this class again. So all this information, does he need that anymore?
No.
But he needs the tables.
Yeah.
New students come in, it's gonna focus on it. That's when you do truncate. When you do truncate, you can at one shot clears or delete all the information in there. But table structure is still with the name. There's a question for you. Can I do it any other way? What am I deleting here? Think about it. What am I deleting in this? Information. Do you see any other things that I can delete the information by? Yes.
Yeah, delete.
Yeah.
Delete in
From
the
that delete.
column,
Delete
it's
is
time
like
consuming.
time. Yeah, truncate is like time. Yeah.
Take a look at this.
No, it's his fault.
That's just fine.
Step by step.
Alright. Let me give you a different example. Let's say I want to delete student number 113. He is the one who failed the class, the first exam. He said, I'm dropping the class. How do you drop this? How do you delete this? You're going to see it later on. Now pay attention. You don't need to know the query, but you will know it eventually. This is how they do it. They say, delete from, you know what? Every keyword must be capitalized. Remember this, this is not case sensitive. Do you know what case sensitive means?
Yes.
That means when you write your password in Facebook, if you put your name as Murad101 underscore NY, that's your password. No, not underscore. NY, that's your password, let's say. If you write down lowercase Murad, will you take it?
No.
Because this is uppercase and lowercase problem. It's a case sensitive. But if you, when you write delete like this or you write delete like this,
It'll take it.
it will take it. But as a good tester, you should always
Right.
write proper way. So from, remember this. This is a keyword. You write it down in uppercase.
All of them.
So delete from, which is the table name?
Table number
Professor
Professor
Festus,
English 101.
English 101, whatever that is, right? And then you say
113. Oh.
Student number 113.
where. This is a keyword too.
Oh, okay.
Where?
What is the primary key here?
Student.
Because if I say delete where the name is Sheikh Roma, there can be 3 of them, they delete all 3 of them. I don't need that, I need only
One.
Or you can say student where,
Student ID.
student ID underscore ID equal uni
113. Oh.
hunter 113. Remember that's the one that I tried to delete?
Yeah.
Then ID number. Okay.
Correct? If I wanted to delete all the rows, this is what I gotta write down. Truncate, table, Professor Festus underscore English 101, whatever the name is.
Okay.
It's gonna truncate all the tables, all the information in there. However, I can do it in here. I can do what? Where
Only
is
one.
student ID between 101 to 113. I can write that down. It's gonna delete those
Only that
information.
number.
But who wants to write all those things when I have a simple way of deleting everything in there? But if you want to write down 3 different columns, what you can do? You can say where is student ID between 101, 103. Or if I wanted to say that all the people that have first exam who has somebody has less than 60, I can delete them. Where? Not student ID. I can say what? First exam less than 60.
I have one question.
Yes.
For example, we try to delete from highlighted student, like a student number 1, then 5 and number 10. They just drop it between gapping. So 1, 5, and 10 is possible.
Right. So you can say where is student ID equal to 1 and where is student ID equal to 1, 5 and where is student, that and should be written like this.
Yeah, keyword.
Oh, all capital. That's the key. Okay.
Okay? Make sense? So you can see why truncate and delete are the same way. Now, that's the first difference, is the delete only delete one or multiple rows. Truncate rows, every single rows in the table. Any command you use in here, I can, if I wanted to delete the whole table, I can say drop table, Professor Festus, and you're not going to see that table exist anymore. So, all the Dr. Cat commands, you don't have to save them. When you write something in Microsoft Excel or what do? Save it. If you don't save it, you close that tab. Would you come back and see that whatever you've written there? No, you have to save it. But these you don't have to save. You write down, create it, automatically save it. You don't have to do anything. But DML command, you have to save them. To do saving, in SQL they call it commit. Commit means save. That's your another category called transaction control language. So when you do something in here, you come in on the table, you write down commit, enter. As soon as you commit it, whatever you have written before automatically be saved. Now, for example, you deleted 113, but by when you typed it, you actually write down 103. Didn't you delete the wrong person?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Roll back.
You can do, before you commit, you can do roll back, which equal to
Undo.
so whatever you have done before actually is going to undo everything.
Control Z, Microsoft Word.
It's like a control C. Then you have to do everything in there. But if you commit it, you cannot undo anymore. When you write commit, after that rollback doesn't work. Okay? So make sure what you do it correctly. Take a look. Before you do a rollback or commit, you make sure everything you have done correctly. Let's say you deleted this information and you committed. Now, what are you going to do? You have to insert that again.
Yeah.
Whole information. Last control language is,
DCR.
which is,
Data control
language?
and there are two things. One is called grant, and another one is called revoke. Grant means he has the grant to use whatever the control is. So a database administrator can come in and say, you know what? He can only do the DML and truncate on this, not everything else. So he can grant you these commands and this. But if he says, I don't want to give him anything at all from DDL, so forget about that. Not everything from there, only insert and select. And where's the select? Select these two. So you only have the grant for what? These two. Let's say all of them you had it before, but he wants to revoke some of your grants in there. So he can revoke these three, but keep some of them in there, or he can revoke the whole thing for you. So revoke and grant is basically, one is access, another one is no access. Make sense?
But we have the TCL to commit and roll back.
Right.
Okay, we have to work on this. Draw,
So if I tell you that I need a table for transfer tech, somebody, smart people right there, whoever I believe are smart in here, tell me, see this board, oh God, where's my pen? The green one, right behind you. Take a look at this. QA testing. This one doesn't wipe off. So that there's difference between these two boards.
Oh.
One is book table board, one is back.
This one dries out pretty quick, this one doesn't.
So now we have to give them weight.
Right.
Yeah, this one. Unbelievable.
No, the duster is not good.
দেখলাম হচ্ছে কত সোজা দেখলাম দিতে হবে কিন্তু যখন করতে হবে এই দেখা যাবে ড্রপের জায়গায় দিছি ডিলিট
Baba,
Yes, right.
so you were saying when you write this comment and you, why do you have to say?
None of this gonna make sense until I do all this write down in the computer and I write it down. But before I do this, I wanted to have a table structure. So somebody help me. What is if I have a table for this class, what is the table structure? What is the name? What is the proper name?
Transportative.
Transfer tech
September to January 1st.
September. So let's keep it simple.
Yeah, because we have only one time.
Okay. All right. This is a September class batch that we did. So in this structure, we should have some. So we're gonna say very simple one.
Student ID.
Underscore ID.
With all of
Or however I see it.
Easy.
Another
Name.
table is
Name.
first
Name.
underscore name,
last name
last underscore name,
course name
Phone
course,
number.
and let's say
fees
fees. So if I have a student here, let's say 101, and since Poppy is our volunteer today, Alam, course let's say SQL, fees $400.
student ID 102 Luna
Alright, listen, don't jump in, let me finish it. Now you tell me what kind of data type is this?
Primary key.
That's a data type.
Numeric.
Numeric.
And in the SQL, how do you say that data type? It's not numeric.
Barker.
Barker?
Barker.
No, no, no.
No, it's close.
Alpha.
Number.
Number.
What is the data type?
It's
What
a
are the
number.
different data types we have used in the beginning of the class today? Data type. Or types. First one is character. Second one is
Numeric.
another one is called
worker
worker. Another one is
worker 2
worker 2. Another one is. Didn't we do that?
Yes.
So what kind of data type is this?
Number.
This is number. How many students are we gonna have in this class? In this room, how can we fit?
25.
25. So I'm not gonna have more than 1,000 students for this year or something. I don't think so. If this is not Hunter, this is not CUNY. In CUNY they maybe have what, like 10,000, 20,000 students. Some schools have what, 60,000 students or something. So realistically, why I need to keep the space in there? Because if I say that I need number 20, that means you can have 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, every 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Do you need any student number that big?
No.
I need, let's say, I wanted to have a 10. Do I need that big? No, I don't. I need these 1 million students, never gonna have 10,000, 100,000 maybe, yes. Some schools have 60,000 students, so that's a realistic number. Other than that, you're gonna just waste your space. So a realistic number for Ohio State, where they have 65,000 students, they probably have a number, how long? 6 characters. They can go up to 100,000. How many characters in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I have 7, then it's a million. But I have a 6 character number. That means they can have up to 999,999. Up to there, they can have students. After that, it becomes what? 1 million, Hannah? It becomes 1 million. Then how many numbers in here? 7. It's not going to take it because you're already allocating number only for 6 characters. So here, we don't need more than 100 or 1,000 students. So I can allocate the number as what?
1,000.
Number 4 or 3. That means I can have 999,000, 9,999. Or if I put it in 3, then I can only have until 999 students. Because one more student will make 1,000, but there will be 4 characters. How many characters in here?
No, 3.
3. So I can have a student here. So I can say student underscore ID, and then I can say number 3, and I put a comma here. That means SQL right away know this is first comma, this is the name of the column, this is what is the data types, and this is how many space I gotta save or what character, how many characters I gotta save for there. Okay? But you always start with the bracket. So this is the first column. I put a comma as a separator. That means now it goes to the second column. What is the second column type?
First name.
What is this?
Oh, character.
Character or
Worker.
worker or worker 2. Because worker and worker 2 and character, they take structure, alpha or numeric. Is anybody's name gonna come in Poppy 101?
No.
Never. It's gonna be only characters or a string. Correct?
Yes.
Now, so you can have the next one goes first underscore name, that's the name of the column, then a space, and then you can have character, but you don't know whose name is how big. Somebody's name is Abdullah, somebody's name is like Yagar, which is like 20 characters long, somebody's name is Bob, somebody's name is Poppy, small. So for a good, so I say 15. But now, the problem is, we are actually killing this space. So in that case, we can just put worker 2. So whatever this is not used will be allocated to the next column. Remember how the worker 2 works? How the worker 2 works?
Worker 2.
Yeah, what is the difference?
Difference worker is the
Somebody explaining the worker 2. So anyway, we'll go through that again. First I want to finish this. So we can use either character or worker 2. Right? So what we do now here again? Come on.
And do we need the first bracket or something?
I'll show you. Now, yeah, we need this. So what is the third one? So it goes on and on and on. This one is also same, worker 2. Course is also worker 2. Now this one,
Number.
we have this one as number. So this one number is actually 4. Because we can go up to $1,000 fee or something. So then it will be 4 numbers. So I say, okay, 4 numbers. Then I close the bracket. That means this structure is closed. We don't need any more tables, any more columns. So that's why all the columns names in between parentheses. Just to wake up. Now, if I say a social security number, what should I put?
Numbers.
Number.
Why?
no.
There's only numbers. Oh, you mean the dash too? Or what?
Let's say we don't put dash.
Incorrupted?
Tell me one, how does the social security number work?
3 numbers, 2 numbers,
Then 2.
And another 4
4.
numbers. So total 9.
What is worker 2?
No.
Worker 2.
I can do worker 2. Or is anybody's social security number is more than 9 characters or less than 9 characters?
No.
So why I need worker? Because I know exactly
How
what
many?
character I can imagine.
So we need number.
And
It's only numbers.
do you know when you use it as a number as a string? I mean as a type, data type. When you need to get a value from there. Why you need to? I buy something from a store, that thing has a tag or a value. That value is what? $2.50. Because I need to pay that amount. I pay one single item, that's fine. If I pay 4 of them, how much I pay?
$10.
Huh?
Ten.
$10. So what exactly you did? You get the value and multiply it. You do all the addition, subtraction, and multiply. Or you bought something else which is 175. At the end of the time, when the register, okay, that's all you're paying for. Yes, fine. So he said, after all, your total bill is $4.25 plus tax, and that is calculated also. So only time we use number when you need to calculate something. Do you calculate something with a number?
No.
So why you need that as a number? You don't. You can use that as a character or worker. You understand me? Only time you use a value is when a number, when you need to get a value. How do you need that? Because now I can see how much is my total bill is, how many students are paying me, how much I made altogether this semester. Do I need how many people, first name, can I calculate it, how much they paid? Can I calculate the last name?
No.
Can I calculate it by, I can tell how many students are in there maybe. Yeah, but there's no calculation in there. Only calculation is something that when I do something calculation, I use number. But so security number, I don't do any calculation. I can have 5 different social security numbers. I cannot add or subtract anything out of that.
No.
Now, anytime you are entering anything that is character, worker to date, you put in quotation. Remember that in any kind of programming language, when you're trying to put a name or value or something, it goes by singular double quotation. When you put it between that, you know what that means? As is. What is called? You know what that means? Write exactly what I wrote in between. Do not try to do any calculation. But when I want the program to calculate something in Excel words, I can do this. I can say, get this times 4 and give me the value. So this one give me $1,600. He's going to do the calculation. But when I put this, I say, do not touch it. Whatever I write in between, even if I don't write anything, do as it. If I don't write anything in between here, what's going to happen? It's going to be a null.
No, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, but no, well, if that field state now, then it's going to work. So if I say first name, I wanted to put in between and I put one quotation, I put Poppy, it's going to write exactly Poppy. If I write P-O-P-I, it's going to write exactly how I wrote it. But if I say nothing, then it's not going to put anything there, it's going to be empty field. Null field. You'll see that, we'll practice all those. But does this make sense to you now? What the different types of data there are? I have a feeling report has a problem. So you can answer me now?
The worker 1, worker and worker 2?
No, forget about that. If I wanted to ask you something else in here.
Yeah, sure. I did know worker 2, but I can't say. This is the problem.
That's not a very good answer. Come here. And who else has a problem with this? So, with this, does anybody have a problem here? Okay. So, you write down exactly how the table structure should be.
Sure. Exactly same copy.
No, the one that I wrote before, not this. You don't have to copy this.
Okay.
So, you're going to write down what's the first column name is?
Student ID.
Write it down.
Okay.
Underscore ID. Right. Okay. Now what is that? Column, right?
This is column.
Okay. Now what comes in after column? What are the
Number. The one who wants.
data type?
Oh, data type.
So what kind of data type are you using here?
Number.
Number. Okay. Fine. So you're gonna put no. Have a space after that, right? So you have a space, and then you have what kind of data types you're using?
Number.
Okay, so what are you gonna write there?
Number.
No, you don't put it, that's the underscore or space?
That's number.
Underscore. If you wanted to put a space, use this. That means it's a space.
Okay.
If you put only this, that means an underscore.
Okay.
So alright, so you put this, and what are you gonna put here now?
Number.
No, don't help me.
No, I'm just gonna make it a column.
No, I want you to write down exactly I wrote it.
Okay.
Number, no. You write number here.
Okay. 1
No, number. Write
Number.
exactly number.
Okay. Okay.
Number. Now, how many numbers are you gonna use there?
3.
Okay, so how are you gonna write that? Don't help him.
It's been.
Okay, how you write 3,
Okay. Number 3.
right?
So just under just this space.
Okay,
No, here.
okay. Now, this is a problem. If you put a space in here, he's thinking this is a column name, this is a column name. You
Okay.
cannot have column name together.
Okay.
This one comes in as this.
Okay. Like that.
And then after that, now column is done. What do you do after column? Aye.
Column that now next one.
Okay, so separate 2 columns. What do you do?
I make another column.
Okay, but how do you separate? How you make SQL understand that a column is done?
I have to
Now, how you gonna put that in cursor?
stop.
No, comma,
Oh, comma. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
comma.
এরকম ভাবে পরেরটা লেখা হবে
Guys, help him now, writing the whole thing. But this time I need a volunteer. Poppy baby, you are the one volunteer today, so help him. Nobody talks. Help him. Ask him question, let him do it, then you help him.
First underscore name.
Then underscore.
যেভাবে লেখা আছে এর বড় হাতে আন্ডারস্কোর নেম
I only hear Poppy baby.
আমরা প্র্যাকটিস করতেছি সবাই বলে জানি যে ভালো
You wanna come up here too?
কে
You. Don't let anybody talk.
তারপর দাঁড়িয়ে লেখা যাবে না
ওকে কমা
না
Is in space.
ও
Everybody
Okay.
copy today.
What is this?
ফার্স্ট নেম
What is that? First name is what? A column name, right?
কলাম নেম
Same as the student ID. So now column name is done. What do you do after?
after the next one comma
But don't you have to put a data type in there? What kind of information are you going to put in there?
the name
Right, so what kind of data type is that?
is the name sorry character sorry
Character.
Mm.
So good. So this is a character, let's say. So you have a space there, then you put a data type.
Okay.
So you can put a comma because then he's going to say there is no data type in here. He's not going to put it. So you put a space,
okay
right? Okay, now we put the data type name. What is the data type you're going to use there?
character
Or something to use, save space, which one you use? Guys, come on. What is the data type that you
what
use?
is it
What about this, man? Listen, if I didn't know that you didn't understand, I wouldn't pull you in here. I can tell who understand who didn't understand.
অনেকটাই তো বললাম
Okay, so you tell me if I want to use character that gives me a specific characters, right?
Okay.
But I want to save space in there. Which kind of data type I use for saving space? Think about it. What are the? All right, let me ask you this. Write down data type. Write down type. Type. Type.
ব্ল্যাকবোর্ডের সামনে নাম্বার
Right. Now,
Copy is
hold on, though.
right?
Okay, now here, write down the first one of the type. Don't help him.
character
Sure. How do you write down character?
পুরো লাইক ফুল না
No. In SQL, what do you car? Exactly. Correct. Okay. On character, one more. Now tell me another data type.
বার্কার বার্কার না
What did you use there?
oh is to
Next one.
Student ID is the data type.
Number.
Come on, guys.
I'm sorry.
Come on, stop.
is name number
What is the character here? What is the data type in here? In this row, what did you write as a data type? Look at that. Tell me which one is the data type.
this is the
Column name.
student ID space number
Number is what?
number 3
No, what is the number?
number is
is the data type. Configurability.
Guys, when are you guys gonna learn not to talk?
না আমরা সবাই তো বলো
No, but don't help him. You're not helping him actually. You're actually not helping him.
Which is very good for me.
What is this?
Character.
And what is this?
Data type.
What is this?
Number.
And what is that?
This is
Another data type.
another data
So if I wanted to tell you an exam, I write you a quiz letter for you, and I tell you, tell me all the data types you know. Data type you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me 5 different data types. Write down the first data type there. What is the first one you wrote?
character.
Okay, make it a little bigger. CH, এটা কি? A. Okay. What is the second data type?
Number.
Good. What is the third one?
Third one. Worker.
Good. Okay, that's not how you spell worker. Okay, forget about the worker. Worker.
Okay. Third. Just one. Same.
Right. Var character. Variable characters.
Okay.
Car. Okay, var is VA, not VE. Okay, you need to know that exact. Okay, fourth one.
Fourth one.
Worker 2. Because
Second one.
what is the difference between worker and worker 2?
Same question.
Yeah, same question again.
I don't remember the second one.
No, you're gonna answer it. You're not sitting in there until you answer that. Okay, write down worker 2. There is no use for me to go anywhere further if one of your fellow students doesn't understand that, because he's going to be looking at me the whole class. I'm going to go and it doesn't make any sense. I can be very financially crazy guys, like, you know what, I get these students out, I get another students, I get 4,000. What's the point of it if you don't understand this?
So you want kind of get to nervous so you can say
No. You guys made him nervous because you guys are talking to him. You guys gonna come in and here, everyone I'm gonna call, you're gonna come in and you're gonna write things in there. Think about it, it's me that you've been seeing it for the last 3 months. What about the guy you just know he's gonna take an interview for you, who is there out there, you never met him. He's gonna give you $100,000 job. You think he's gonna ask you time for this?
No.
He's gonna ask you a question, you're gonna answer it like this. You know how nervous you're gonna be at that time? So you get off your nervousness right now. That's not an excuse. What is the fifth one? Give me another one.
Fifth one.
It's alright, you don't remember, try to think. What other different data types can I use?
Okay, last one is the
Let's say another column I have here, and this is the column name.
that.
And what kind these are? What is this? If I say the year you were born, date of birth, what kind of data type that should be?
Date. Oh, date.
Write it down. You know all the data types now?
Yes. You are gonna forget it.
Good. Now, you wrote student ID as a column name. This column name is student ID. You know, you said, okay, I'm gonna only put number in there, and I have 3 characters in there. So you have first name. What kind of data types you gonna use from here?
The first name. Very good.
You're gonna write down here, not here. What are you writing in there? You gotta write in here.
Okay.
What are you gonna use? What is the data type?
This is the alphabet.
That's the name. Okay, this is the first name. That's a column name. So what kind of data types are you gonna pass? You put number for student ID. What are you gonna use for first name? Character. Okay, write down character. See, yeah. So you can, if you don't put anything in there, that means you don't have any space in there. But somebody's name can be 10 character long, somebody's name can be 15 character long, somebody's 5 character name long. So to be on the safe side, I want to put 20 or 15. So how do you write 20 or 15 of them?
Right. Should I know?
Yeah, write down, see.
1, 2, 20.
No, no, that's not how you write it down. How did you write it here?
Oh, space. Oh,
No, you didn't put
sorry.
space.
Right there?
Right.
1, 2.
No, you don't have to do 1, 2. You can just write down 15 in there.
Oh, okay.
15 and a
One
space
line.
close. Now, this column is over. What do you do after the column is over? Look at that other one.
It's comma.
Good. Put a comma. Now, what is the third character? Third column.
Last name.
So write it down. Now I'm not gonna help you. And if you don't get any help,
Oh wait, I have a question.
yes.
That's first name, space, character, but why did we put 15 instead of 4 characters for our name?
Okay, if somebody's name is Abdullah,
Oh, maximum of 15.
to be on the safe side, I'm gonna put
okay,
15.
Gotcha.
Last name. What do you do after that?
Last name. This means how many
Yeah, that should be.
Right.
You follow
Good.
আগেরটা
Good. See, think about whatever you're gonna
just
do.
look
it.
back to the old one.
So it's
Yeah, look back. Exactly. Good. Beautiful.
specific to it.
No, তুমি মিস করছো কিছু একটা দেখো এটা টাকা আগেরটা স্পেস তারপরে
Yeah.
স্পেসের পরে কি এক্স্যাক্টলি হ্যাঁ
Maximum.
এটা
Yeah,
দেখো
so take 15 off, write down the
This
character.
is the generalizing. If you
Exactly,
start
the left
to
was
do
the
that,
target, the left
it
was.
will just go on.
I guarantee you, he's gonna make less mistakes than you guys do.
জীবনের ভুলবে না এই জিনিসগুলো
That's true.
And how do you finish that column?
It's right there.
Oh, beautiful.
Comma. What is the third one?
Third one is course.
Okay. Gurun, come here. Oh, good. Good job. Everybody clap for him.
100%
Finish it.
এইভাবে টেবিলে
Makes sense. You are more confident than he is. So what is that? Third one. Fourth one.
Fourth one.
Course. So what do you do as a you put a comma, right? And after that, let's say we can write it there or you can come back in here. So you're gonna write down what? Good. Write down course. Course. And then after that what? A space. Right? And then what comes after that?
Factors.
Data type.
American factors.
Okay, so you want to put character? Fine. Write down. No, that's not how you spell character. Yes. How do you write character? Or what is the data type first? No, you're saying it character. What does it say?
Chart.
Or chart. Or character. Okay, so what are you going to write down in here? Yes. Right, and then what comes? How much space you want to allocate for that data type. So how do you do that?
It can be any concept.
So realistically, if I have SQL, HC, QC, Selenium and all those, to be on a safe side, I want to put 10. So what do you do?
10.
Good, and I want to separate that, comma. Here's a question for you. My next class, next course is called,
English 101.
can I put character in there?
No,
Why?
because it's number.
It's number and alphabet together. So what are you going to put?
Alphanumeric.
Alphanumeric, right? This is alphabet, this is number, numeric. It's a combination of character and number. So what kind of data types you use for that?
Worker.
Good. So to be on the safe side, never use character, use worker. Something that you know that can be a combination of alphanumeric. So write down worker. Instead of character, write down worker in there. So you put a VSC in between, in front of that. No, you're missing an R. V.
I'm sorry.
Right. Now, to be even better safe side, we can put worker 2 also. That's no problem. Now, write down the last one.
We need a quiz on this.
Yeah?
So a quiz would be good on this.
জীবনে কেউ টেবিল আর ভুলবে
Beautiful. You don't put it apart. You don't put a period in there. So it's over. Now take a look at that. You put this one because we started with one. So there are two brackets at the end. Don't get confused by two brackets because that has something to this one is related to this and this one is related to this.
Okay.
Make sense? Everybody understand this now?
Yeah.
Great.
5 minutes break. So only way to understand it.
I'm going to the doctor.
Yes. Thank you. You remember we went through this? Data, data types, right? Data, what is the data consist of table? This we went to. Character, what is the worker, two differences. SQL tools, there are different tools we use. What we're going to use today is SQL Class. That's a command prompt. That means you can actually command type it down. But everything else, you can use a mouse click, you can create all those things. It has a create button and all those things. So those are the other ones, DB Visualizer, DB Solo, Toad, one of the most important one. We're going to show you that one later on sometimes. And also DB SQL Developer. Those are GUI based, easier to learn. But the SQL is the very important, the one that I would say, you know, takes more of your attention, and it's like it's harder to learn. So, and then we have PL/SQL. We're going to come to that later on. But now the data definition language. Remember, we said data definition language is the Dr. Cat create, alter, rename, drop, crank. I'm going to send you guys these notes. I will send you these notes today. Now data manipulation language is DML commands: select, update, select, insert, and then commit, rollback, and then control, granting, revoke. So you can have this. Trust me, you're not going to be using those unless you're a database administrator. Now this is a very important question. It says they're going to, out of 10, if they hire you as SQL, there is no interview question that they're not going to ask you anything from SDLC or SQL. I tell you, guarantee you that. They're going to ask you a question, at least one or two from SQL. And they're going to ask you a bunch of questions from SDLC. And they're going to ask you from your SME, which is subject matter expert place. Okay, so they're hiring somebody, automation engineer for QTP, they're going to ask you a question for QTP. If they're hiring for Selenium, they're going to ask you for Selenium. If they're hiring for only ALM or QC, they're going to ask you a question. But these are going to be common questions. One of the most important questions they ask you, either join, or they're going to ask you what is the difference between delete, truncate, and drop. So let me read that, okay? Then you're going to understand that we're going to go to the table structure we're going to go through. Delete. Delete command allows a database user to delete single or selected rows. Remember, where is student ID equal to 113, or where is student ID equal to 113 and is student ID equal to 203 and is student ID equal to 1001. So 3 different people that you want to put. Or you can delete all the Mohammed. So you can say student's first name equal to Mohammed. So all the Mohammed's going to be deleted, right? So it can be one or it can be multiple rows, but not all the rows. For all the rows, what do you use? Truncate. Right. So it says user can use rollback command to undo delete before the use of commit command. So what is commit? Commit means what?
Save.
Save. What does rollback mean? Undo. So you can undo it, but as long as you save it, you cannot undo it anymore. So as soon as you put commit, when you use commit, after that rollback doesn't work. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, truncate. The third one is user has to perform commit statement to change the effect permanently. So DML commands, you have to use, all the SUDI commands, you're going to use commit to make sure there's a saved. But DDL command, do you need your save?
No, auto commit.
Yeah, auto commit, automatically saved. You remember that? Don't shake your hand if you don't understand me. Go like this, so that I know you don't understand.
So after you delete, you write the second command is commit.
Yes, you should. You should, to make it effective. But You have to make sure that you're writing, you're deleting the right one. So you should, after delete, you should actually go back to the database. Select command and see if that one is actually deleted. Exactly the one that you deleted is deleted or not.
And
So-
when you write the word commit, like after you delete it.
After you think that this is okay to save it, then you save it. Now, truncate is what? Truncate command will delete all rows from a table permanently. That means there is no commit, there is no rollback on there. Who can roll back and commit that? Only database administrator. I tell you that because they already have a backup database system they can get from there. But you and I don't have the authority.
Right.
So when you do truncate, and probably most likely you're not going to use truncate either. Because that's above your pay scale. Now, truncate command will delete all rows from a table permanently. It does not allow deleting single or selected rows, deleting all of the rows only. If you put truncate, it's gonna delete everything from that table. Not one, but everything, correct? Now, as soon as you use truncate command, rollback not going to work. Look at that. What does it say? As soon as you use truncate command, rollback not going to work. Rollback means what? Undo. You cannot undo it. I write something in here. Look at this. I made a mistake. Or I deleted T. I can use Control Z. Or I can use this button undo. Isn't that undo?
Yes.
Undo. I click that, put the truncate right away. It undo it. But if you use truncate in SQL, you have no way of undoing it. It says even though truncate deletes all the row, but database table structure will remain the same. You're not deleting the table structure. Who does that? Which command does that? Who said that drop?
Yeah.
You said? Good. Drop is the one that delete
the
everything.
structure.
Also, table structure is also deleted. Alright? Now here it comes. It is auto commit. Doesn't it say auto commit? Now what does that drop do? Using the command, a database user can drop a delete or delete a table from the database permanently. Table will be deleted forever. Rollback not going to work. And it says table structure will be
Gone. So drop is very
Completely
dangerous. Drop is.
yeah, you're not gonna have. Okay, what is a database constraint? Database constraint means database constraints make sure no invalid data is entered in a table. Example, a bouncer in a bar who does not let anyone under 21 in. That's funny.
Make sure.
We have the schema, table schema after that. And then these are the keywords. You're gonna make that one as an uppercase. Count. What does that do? Count how many rows in there, count something. Max, what is that? Maximum. That means I want to see who has the maximum salary, I can get that. Minimum, who has the minimum salary, I can get that. Or who pays the minimum bills, I can see that. So for example, I'm giving I always say that if somebody says give me a scenario in the interview, I said, well, I work at Time Warner and I wanted to see who pays the minimum bill every month. So we want to give them some promotion, we want to get the bill up a little bit. Because for what? I wanted to push the sell. He only has telephone services. We're going to say, listen, next 6 months we're going to give you like the internet for free, but after that you're paying $49.99. You know what I mean? So I want to first see who has the minimum bill, right? Alright? Yeah. So you use minimum in there. Average. I want to see how much my total average every month for salary is. I can do average. Now, standard deviation, forget about that. I'm not going to get into that. It's just a calculus term and I don't think you would understand that. Anyway, forget about that. Standard deviation. Upper. I wanted to make everything uppercase or lowercase. Lowercase. Init cap. Initial capitalization. First letter is uppercase. Okay, then it has system date. Every database has at least one table that you don't have to create. It automatically creates. Huh? It's called dual. D-U-A-L, 12. That dual table has one column, one row. All the system informations are in there. You can retrieve those. Minus, you want to minus 2 columns, you can do that. Sum, what does sum mean?
Addition.
No,
Adding
Summary.
Total?
the total.
total. Not addition, total. There's a difference between addition and total. Addition, you put 2 things. Sum is actually all of them, rows. So,
Yeah, you next.
sorry about that. My phone should be in airplane mode too. Hello. Viplav. Viplav, how are you, brother? Long time no talk. It's been almost what, 15 years? Yes, Viplav, I'm actually taking a class. Where are you? Are you in Jamaica? No, I mean, where is home? Oh, okay. Alright, so I'm actually taking a class in Jamaica right now, and I'll be taking it until like 10:30, 11. Now, after I'm finished, I'm going home to Long Island. I'm coming back to play badminton around like 12:30. Are you, do you have some time tomorrow around 6:30, quarter to 7? Can you come over to the school that I have so we can at least discuss something? Do me a favor, call me around 11. Is that okay with you? Yes, tonight. Perfect. Alright, bye.
কোন বিপ্লব?
4 বছর মতো অনেক আগে পার্টি করছিল।
ওই সোহেলের বিপ্লব?
1999 পার্টি করছিল, I remember. 97.
So it's the 20 years ago, 15 years.
It's not that after the party I never saw him, after that I saw him too. Okay, so max, count, minimum, standard deviation, sum, these are group functions because it's actually having group of information together. Some of them are single functions, some of them are group functions. Alright, SQL commands need to be capitalized. Drop, rename, create, alter, truncate, select, delete all those. Okay, now create a table. Before I do that, I should do this one here, use get it? So if I want to highlight that, how do you do that? Shift, right arrow. Control C, Control V. And I want to make this one same like this. So what I do, I go to the, select that, I go to paintbrush, and I just drag the whole thing until wherever I want to do it. So right away, becomes like that. Alright, now if I open my VMware,
আমাদেরটা করতে হবে, করতে হবে।
just take a look at here first. I want you to first take it, then I'll give you exercise to do it. Now, when you go there, you go to start. First of all, let me do this. Where is that? There we go. Now, I have the start column in here. I go to all programs. I can go to Oracle database. And Oracle database, what is the edition in here? 10G. They can ask you which one you worked on. You can say 10G or 11G, 10G. This is an express edition. So you can say I worked on 10G. You worked on something for 5 years, 6 years, they can ask you which edition you didn't work in. You couldn't answer that, that's wrong. Right? So I click on the Oracle database and then say, which one is that? Run SQL command, but before you do that, you should always start the database. What do you do?
Start the database.
And look at that, something is happening in here. Right? As soon as something happens on this page, you gotta do is this one. EXIT. Enter. Exit.
Oh.
Now, I do this again, I go to all programs, I go to where? Where database, and then I can go here. When you have problem using the mouse, click on start and then use the arrow button, up arrow. You see that? Up arrow I use. I'm not using the cursor. I'm using right arrow, this one open. Now I go left and down and go to Oracle. I go to right arrow again. I go to run SQL command. See run SQL command came in? Right? I can click on this. What came in? Page.
SQL.
Now, this is an Oracle SQL command line came. You cannot use the mouse cursor here.
We have to type.
You're gonna have the cursor, the left, right arrow keys. This one use. But before you do that, you have to connect to the database. Because this is a command tools you are using. But what are you getting the information from? The database.
No, I didn't.
Storage.
The storage. So that storage you're gonna get the information from. Then you have to connect it first. So the connection is for this. It says CONNECT connect, and this is the username / password and colon. Enter. What does it say?
Connected.
Connected. So I can go like enter and all this. I cannot go back space anymore. No, no. I mean I just missed that one. Now, first day you came into the class and you wanted to know, not the class, I'm sorry, the office, you want to know how many tables in there. So you gotta do this, select table underscore name from user
underscore
tables. That's your first command. You don't have to do that, right? I mean, first command is. So what does it tell me now? That this database that I connected to, HRDS at the correct column, that table, that database has these tables. How many tables are in there? How can you tell? 10 tables. That means 10 rows. It doesn't come from there, it comes from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What are the names of the tables you can see? Student SQL, regions. Remember the database schema? You remember that? Who has the database schema in your hand? I told you to print it out, you guys didn't.
Yeah, I got.
You print it?
No, I got no.
Alright, so how many tables are in here? 7, right? Location, department, job history, employee, countries, region, jobs. Take a look at here. Locations, regions, departments, jobs, employees, job history. Student is not there. Countries there. PNT student, and student SQL. Those are the 3 I created. So how many with 7 and 3? How many can I get?
It's 10.
10. So I want to see what's in the SQL, student SQL in there. I want to see what's in there. Or what's the today's date. So I can say, first one, I did something wrong right now. What did I do wrong?
Capital letter.
Exactly, it should be capitalized. It will gonna work. So I'm gonna do this. Select sys date from 12. What does it say? Today is November 2nd, 15.
Sys date or keyword?
Sys date or keyword. So you should actually write down this. Select date
From
from.
Dual. Dual কি?
Yeah, you don't have to.
Dual দিলে কি চলে আসবে date?
You see, same thing came in. Now, what came in here? Sys date. Correct? I can do same thing. Now, look at that what I did. Something came in right away. How did that come in? That came in because I used the arrow. You see that arrow sign? You know those cursor arrow? I put the left arrow, right arrow. As soon as you put the arrow, it tells you all the commands one by one. You can go keep up. So this is what happens. Select dual. However, I can use the arrow. I cannot use the cursor. It doesn't click. Only use the arrow. So, sys date. I don't want to put the sys date in there. I'm going to say today's underscore date. Guess what happens? Instead of sys date, it says what?
Today's.
only because this character, this structure was created with 8 characters. That's why those 8 or 9 characters, whatever, that's what it shows. If the whole thing was for 20 characters long, then it would show the whole today's date. But that's not the point. What is this? Now, what was one of the tables? Employees, correct? So what we can do, I want to see everything from employees.
Select
Select
from,
star
yeah,
Okay.
star.
from employees.
Select. Now, they know this, so they are saying this. You don't know. So you see how many times I'm using select in here? Almost everywhere. I'm selecting. So in database, if I ask you a question, 2 things to remember. When you trying to get an answer from database, pure and simple, right? You're trying to do something in the database. First of all, you're gonna find out, first question you should ask yourself, what should I do? What am I getting? What am I doing? And from
Where?
where? These are the 2 important questions. I ask you the question, how can I see all the information from employees table? So what am I getting? All the info. That is what I'm getting, isn't it? From where?
Database.
From employees tables. Correct? So this is your where part. 2 things. One is what and where. Now, later on is going to give you conditions. That comes in later. Because I can say, get first name, last name, which is what am I getting from my employee tables, whose first name and last name is only Mohammed and Alam. How many Mohammed Alams are in there? So you're putting a condition there. So forget about that condition right now. We don't have to worry about that. I want you to say that I want to see everything from employees tables, all the information. All the info can be replaced by this one thing called star. In any programming language, this means everything.
Star.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but you can always say, what is this? Okay, let me write it down, then you answer it. Dot, 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 dot. After that everything, you know what that means?
Extension.
File extension. Very good. It's called file extension. By the extension, you will know what type of file that you have created. If you create something in a notepad, it will be text file. If you something in Microsoft Word, it's gonna be a docs file or doc file. Documents file. This is document, this is the text. Simple text. If you write something in Excel, you're probably gonna do it here. Something auto-executable, that is a exe or bash file. So it's like extension is gonna be after the dot. So you will be asked a question in in a QTP, like what is the extension for creating a function library, or dot what, or what is the recovery scenario file extension. So you should know file extension too. This is file extension. Okay. Now, sometimes we can say that I wanted to see all the file extensions, so you can do like this one. That means after dot, whatever, doesn't matter what type of file extension, I want to see how many I have created so far. So this one is always was replaced to what? Everything. So if I wanted to see everything from the employee table, I should say first must I say select, because I'm selected, and what? Everything.
Star.
And then from where?
Employees.
Employees. Employees, you don't have to tell underscore table. The table name is exactly as is the table name. So I know that the table name is here, employees, right? So I want to select it. I want to see the selection of the employee table. I want to copy it. So I want to say star, which is shift 8. Number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What if I hit the shift and number 1? What sign I'm gonna get? Or bang. If I say shift 2, what am I gonna get? At the rate of. If I say shift and then 3, hashtag or number sign. If I say shift and 4, dollar sign. If I say shift and 5, percentage. Shift and 6, who can tell me what that is? Carrot. What is the shift and 7?
And sign.
What is that called? Ampersand. What is shift and 8? Asterisk. And what is that? All. Everything, right? What is shift and 9?
Parentheses.
Left parenthesis.
Open parentheses. Yeah.
Open parenthesis. Open bracket. Right? So, or close bracket. Okay. Now, if I wanted to see everything, which one I should? Shift 8. Right? So now I do what? From
Employees.
I don't know exactly how the name is employee there. I wanna copy paste it from my database. How I copy paste it? You see the command blue line in here? Look at my cursor. On the blue line, right click. As soon as you right click, something came up, right? A drop down menu. Go the cursor down, edit. Go to the right side. You said mark. You can click on mark. And now you can come in and select the employee here. You see that? You don't have to control C, you can enter it. As soon as you enter it, it automatically copy it. Now you come back to this cursor. Control V doesn't work here now. You have to go back. You see the cursor is blinking in here? You can go back to the blue line, go right click, edit. Now this time you can go paste. You see the employees right written there?
Oh, nice.
What are you talking about? Yeah, but you want to make sure it is exactly the same way. Yeah, worker like a V lexilo, like why? Now after you finish the your query, you put a colon sign, and then what do you hit?
Enter.
Enter.
Ooh. Oh my god, it's not stopping.
Now how many rows are in
107
there?
rows.
Can you tell me anything makes sense in here now?
Yes.
It does. You have to look through it, but it looks very
Complicated.
or
Organized.
rearrange. I mean disorganized.
It's not organizing.
But I can organize it now. You know how I can organize it? Because my length of this page and the width of this page wasn't set. So I'm gonna set it now. So this is what I'm gonna set. How I'm gonna set it. I can say set page size 300. Let's say colon enter. You don't know anything happened, nothing happened. I can say set line size 300 colon enter. Now I want to do the select everything from employees. What I do? Select star from
employees.
employees. Employees is a keyword? No. It's a table name. We don't have to. Does it make sense now?
Yes.
Organized.
Now take a look. I can take a look in here. I can say the employee ID is 100. His first name is Steven. Last name is King. Email address is King. And it's just random number they put it in there. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Phone number is this. His hire date is this, June 87. And this is his job ID, which is ad PRES.
That's the number, yeah, for you.
Advertising, probably. Advertising presidents or something, whatever. This is advertising VP, vice president. Now, his salary is what? 24,000. Let's say it's monthly salary, 24,000. His commission ID, commission percentage is nothing in here, but if you go down, you will see there are some people has commission percentage. You see that's on 0.4. 0.4 means what?
4%.
40%.
Oh, 40%.
0.4,
zero there.
0.04 is 4%.
Yeah, then times 100. Okay.
0.4 is what?
40%.
40%. If I wanted to do 40%, you know how I do it? I put 100 underneath here. They take this one, they take 2. For 10, I put a dot in here. So it becomes what? 40. If I do 50%, what do? I put 100 underneath, take this 100 off. For 10, I put a dot in here. So it becomes 5%. If I wanted to do 25%, how I do it? Put 100 underneath there. There is no 2 zeros. So 1, 2, and put a dot in here. How many? What? 0.25. So if I wanted to put 5%, so I put 100 in here. How many zeros I gotta go back? For 5, I take off 1. Is there any other number in here? No. So I put a 0 in here. They take this off, put a dot. So for 5%, how much is that? 0.05. So 0.4 is what?
40%.
40%. Make sense, this one? You understand this? Dulan? Ripon? Murad? Good. Now, can somebody tell me 0.15, how much is that?
15%.
Good. See, some people has commission, some people don't have. What does that mean? This field is, this one is here right now are nulls. It is a null because there is no information in there. So anyway, going back to our previous section, so his department ID is 100 and manager ID is 100. That means he has a department ID. Look at that. The first one is Steven, doesn't have a manager, does it?
No.
He's probably the president of the company. He doesn't need a manager. This vice president, look at that second one, Nina, coacher, has what? His manager name is 100. So that means this 100 is actually this student employee ID. So Steven is actually Nina's manager. Number three, even though it says number 1 or 2, but actually it's employee number 3, right? Lex Dehan, his information is 100 is the manager. That means Steven is still his manager. Alexander, number 103, student ID, and who knows, his manager ID is what?
1 or 2.
1 or 2. That means actually Lex is his. So this is a cross reference. And going back to your question, that's your inner join. That's the referential. Alright. Now, I want to see something in here. I want to see only first name, last name, and salary from the employee table. So what am I getting? My what and where part, remember?
Yes.
What and
Where?
Where?
What is salary?
I want to see my first name and salary from the employees tables. Correct? How I do that?
Select
Good.
first underscore name.
Okay, so how do you know where's the first lecture or what's his name in or what's his name is? I mean, what is the column name is? Select. Tell me how the how do you know the first?
Select from
schema.
First name.
From the schema.
No, put the employees.
from employees.
Schema can be one place you can see. So if I open my schema,
Oh,
doesn't it have says that first underscore name?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so underscore.
What? Okay. Now, where's my? Oh, here we go. I can do something else here. Take a look at
Once
this.
you get all the tables again.
It gives me table structure. Describe me the table structure. So what is the first name? First column says what? Then first name. Now take a look at here. On the right side, it says the first name is not null. It cannot be null. So it says not null and it's a number. Which is my data type. How many numbers? 6 as the most. Then is the second one is first name is a worker 2 but 20 characters long. Third one is last name cannot be null, worker 2 25 characters long. Correct?
Yes.
What is my last one? I mean email address, which is another worker 20 characters long. Then it says hire date, which is a date. Then it says job ID, which is a worker 2 10 character long, which is salary. You see that it says salary and it says work number 8, 2. What does that mean?
Commission.
No.
Oh, 80%. 80%.
No.
No.
8, not point.
Oh, okay. Oh, 80,
Alright.
Oh,
This
X
is what it
axis and
says.
Y
It
axis.
says 8, 2. Do you see this by the way?
Yeah.
That means your salary can have decimal points, don't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Only until 2. So
Oh.
if somebody's salary is 24,000 and then 558.2 is there, I forget about that, only take 2 digits.
8 numbers and there's 2 decimals.
So only taking 2 digits after decimals.
That's what
So that means comma 2. Number comma 2 means 2 decimals now. Take 2 decimals.
Okay.
So if you get bored, you get bored. You know this, I know. But alright. So I know right now the first name is written as first underscore name, last underscore name, right? So I'm getting what? I'm getting my first name. So I'm gonna say select first underscore name, comma, salary
from
from
employees.
employees, semicolon, enter. How many rows? It's still 107 rows, but now do you get all the columns? Only the selected columns are in there. Look at that. It's still I have first name as Steven, this, Nina, this, Lex as this. Make sense? Now, do I have this name alphabetically written? No, it's not. So I can actually say from now on, I'm gonna have the first name and I can now use the cursor and I can say last underscore name, comma, or I can say
Phone number or email.
employee underscore ID, comma, right? And then enter it. Now, instead of 2 columns, how many columns I have?
3.
4.
Oh, it's
1, 2, 3, 4. ID, first
ID
name, last
also.
name, and
Alright.
salary.
Right?
Mhm.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Now take a look at something else. Now I wanted to make sure all the first name comes in
Alphabet.
ascending orders. So descending and ascending, what does that mean?
Rising and
So I'm gonna have
highest to
ascending
lowest.
or descending. Ascending means A to Z. Descending means Z to A. Make sense? Or Z to A, whatever, however you want it. Ascending and descending. So I wanted to do this. To do that, there is the thing called sorry, you're right, baby. Order by, and I'm ordering it to be sorting it. It's sorting. I'm sorting it. So I can do this one. Employees.
Order by.
Ascending, ASC.
Which one am I sending?
The names,
A to Z.
first names. Understand.
Take a look at something. Employee ID. Are now they scattered?
Yeah, it's changed.
But name comes in what?
Alphabetically.
Alphabetically. Didn't it? First name?
Yes.
Adam, Elena, Alberto. After A, B came in, C came in, D came in. Everything is good, right? Now, if I wanted to make this one descending, what is my last name? Winston, right? What is my last character? Number 107 row is 180. Winston Taylor, isn't it? And this one last name. So second one is William, then Vance. See how many Williams are in here?
3 Williams.
Okay. So if I'm instead of that, now I can say
DSC. DES.
Now the whole thing got reversed. Winston first, William, Vance, Wall, right?
Yes.
And the first one gonna be which one? What is the first, last one gonna be?
A.
Right? And which one? Adam. Remember it was first before?
I'm going to descending by him.
So now I want to see the maximum salaries from all the tables, all the employees. Who got the maximum salary? So what I can do? Select
From
From
employee.
employee.
employee ID
From
employee underscore ID, comma, first
First.
underscore name, comma, salary, okay? Then what?
Semicolon. Oh.
Where?
From employees.
From
Employees.
employees. Now the condition came in.
Okay. Maximum.
Ascending.
Where?
Oh,
Where? Oh no, my fault. I want to see
you want to see the highest?
anything above, like, $10,000. I'm sorry. Where salary, what the hell? Salary is greater than
Yeah.
10,000. So these are the people who have salary more than how many rows? 15 people. So I want to see what is the maximum salary that people get. So I want to say
Select. Underscore ID.
no.
Employee
Okay,
ID.
noted.
Select. Now take a look at this. Select
Max salary. From employees.
Okay.
Semicolon.
It tells me what?
The maximum one.
Salary is $24,000, right? So I want to see who gets the maximum salary. What do I do? Who gets that? So I can do this one. I want to see their first name. So select first underscore name, comma,
Maximum.
no, I want to see their department ID
Department ID.
or employee ID, first name or like a last name. Last underscore name,
Comma.
no, from employees,
IDs.
no,
Employees.
the tables, from where? From a table.
Employees.
Now you can say condition, where
Salary.
salary equal 24,000. Isn't that what I got? The highest salary was? So I want to see who that person is. There are only one person, Stephen King.
Yeah.
Make sense or not?
Yes.
This is how the query works.
Right, Java should be forming the salary.
Right?
Why do you have the salary in your bracket?
It's a good question. What are you doing? You're actually putting a group function in there. Group function you are getting from one column or multiple columns. Multiple rows or one row? Tell me. How do you do, if I tell you, if I tell you that I have 20 students in here, or like let's say 5 students in here. First one makes $100 a day. Second one makes $50 a day. Third one makes $75 a day. Fourth one makes $100 a day. Seventh one makes $50 a day. how much the average make. How do you do this?
You gotta add it all up.
You gotta add all this up, divide by what?
5.
Divide by how many rows are in there. So you do what? 100.
50 to 25.
Hang on a second, guys.
375 divided by 5.
Please come in. Please. I'm so sorry within আপনারা আসছিলেন আর আমি ওই দিনই সবচেয়ে ট্রাফিকে আটকেছি বাই দ্য ওয়ে let me introduce you turn the lights up for a second please কোনো অসুবিধা নেই আসেন this is our class after you can have a seat please let them sit somewhere you know ভাই আপনি বসেন হ্যাঁ just 5 minutes after yeah there's there are 2 chairs there so they can sit down in there there's you can Murad is going to sit around right there. So in other words, we are saying that there are 5 different people, each of them making a separate amount of money. I want to make sure all these 5 people, what's the average going to be? So the average is first person makes $100, second person makes $50 a day, third person makes $75 a day, fourth person makes $100, and number 5 person makes $50 a day. So 100 plus 50 plus 75 plus 100 plus 50. So this one is 5. This one is 5 plus 7 plus 5 is 17. We have 1 in hand, right? Now 1 and 1, 2 and 3. 375. Total amount of money all these 5 people make. So 375 divided by 5 makes it 35, 255, 25, 0. That means $75. All of them average make. How many fields do you have to calculate that from? All of them. Aren't you grouping them? That's a group function. Did you use 1 row or all 5 rows?
5 rows.
When you do a maximum salary, you sort of them and you make sure which one has that maximum salary. You know how they do it? In that column, all of them salaries, look at the salary were written. Salaries were you see all these salaries? You know what he did first? He did this. Remember we did one descending and ascending? So he said order by, and then what he did, computer did is this. SQL first did is this. Salary ascending. You see that all the salaries ascending? What is the last one? 24,000? So he picked that number. That's how he did it. But what he did, he actually used all the groups, didn't he? All the columns he used. So that's why when you're doing a group function, you have to make sure the group function that you're using, which is what in this case? Max. Didn't we do the max salary right here?
Yeah.
We use max, right? And it's a group function. Whatever the column they're grouping it, you have to put that in parentheses. So I'm using maximum salary for my employees in parentheses. Now, if I want to do, you can turn the lights down now. Let me show you a different thing. If I say, let's say, this is the maximum salary, right? So if I wanted to do the minimum salary, what do I do? Same thing, instead of writing maximum, I write minimum. And I put enter. What is the minimum salary?
2100.
So if I wanted to say average salary, what do I do?
Just type minimum.
I write down average, which is AVG. And then I put enter. What is the average salary?
64.
But after 616, like how many digits are in there after decimals? After the points?
After decimals, the 5 decimals.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't want all 5 points. What do you do?
Comma 2.
Exactly. If I put comma 2,
Only restriction.
so let's see if we can do that.
Conditions.
And if I wanted to do that, I have to first put a comma here, and then I put comma 2. There's a problem in there. Hang on a second, I probably have to hang on a second. Jeez. I may have to do this. Missing the right parenthesis, or am I missing the right parenthesis? I can actually trunk this, trunk average salary, I think.
ভুলেরও ভুলে যায়, বুঝতে পারছি সব কোথায় ভুলেছে।
So I have to put another bracket in here, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Open bracket. No.
Because
We're selecting from average, then salary. Is the conditional?
after you came in a very tough class, what is going on? So for the trunk, I put an average, right? Another group function. For this bracket, you close this bracket. For this bracket, you close this bracket. Okay. Let's see if that works. If not, then we have to see something. Do you see the decimal points right now?
No.
No,
Now, right?
no.
Because the trunk only takes the solid number.
Right.
Okay.
ট্রাম্প কি আরেকটা keyword?
Another function, another function. Okay. Now I'm going to go through all of them. Now just be on the safe side. We did average, maximum, minimum salary, and those gives you a calculation,
Yeah.
right? SQL notes. Where we have the SQL notes? This is our main class, and this is the what we did, create table name. So let's say I wanted to create a table where I have the student's first name, last name, student's ID, student's salary, course and fees that you did before. So how do I do that? Create table, the table names. Remember we did that?
Okay.
Now, in the same structure, if I wanted to create one, now somebody help me, Luna, what do I do first?
Select.
No, I'm creating a table. What am I doing? Creating. Create. What is the keyword for create?
CR.
Create.
Okay.
Capital
Create.
letter.
What is the name of the table?
Transfer.
Transfer tag underscore students, right? Now, I created that. Now I wanted to have, what is student info? Okay,
Underscore.
info, let's say. Alright, fine. And then I say, now what comes in?
First name?
No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
I know what we're going to put in here, but I'm saying that first thing comes in, what kind of column comes in there, right? Column names. So what is my first column name? Student ID, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do I do now?
So you are creating a table.
Exactly, I'm creating it here.
Acha, acha.
Student underscore ID. After that, what comes in? Wait, not you. Huh? Before what comes?
Oh, বুঝি।
What is that thing called? Data type. Data type. Student ID data type what chilo? What was the first one you put?
Character.
No, wait. No, you didn't.
Which type?
101 keyword.
Oh, 101, the
Number.
number.
It's a number. Okay, fine. So that's fine. Number. And how many characters you want to allocate for that number? 3. Okay. So I'm putting 3. And now if I want to separate that column, what do I do? Comma. So I put a comma. Then what columns come in? Ridwan? I'm sorry, Duran?
First name.
First name. So first underscore name. Then comes in what? I put a space, by the way. The data type, which is?
Fighter. Oh, Barker. Barker 2 actually.
I can use character also. So I can say CHAR, character. And how many space I want to allocate? Let's say 20. Right? And how do I separate them? Comma. And now I put last underscore name. And then also say
CHAR.
character.
20 again.
20 again.
Parentheses.
And then I put comma. And then I put course. And this time course name can be
Worker.
combination of alphanumeric, right? English 101 or economics or something else. So I can do worker 2 or worker, either one. Worker 2,
20.
and let's say I put, let's say 6 this time, or 10, right? Comma. What do I do?
Fees.
Fees. Fees gonna be a number.
So number.
So 4.
Okay, good. Number. So I put 4
And
because
big,
of it.
another
Now what do I
parenthesis.
do?
One more column.
Now
We finished.
Yeah.
Another parenthesis to close down.
close bracket. Close. So shift 0. Now how do I enter the command? Semicolon. Enter. There is a problem
Error
somewhere.
at line 1.
What happened to the problem?
Create comments.
Create comments here.
Oh, we forget to put another bracket. Oh no, we did already.
You should say create table.
Table name.
No. Create table, then table name. So I can just have this one. I can come all the way back in here to the very first place where I wrote what? Table. And I can write down table. And I can enter it.
Akshara.
What does it say?
Table created.
Wow. Now I want to see all the information in that table. Transfer take student information. What do I do?
Select.
Select.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to delete. I don't want to write that. I can hold on, but I want to go all the way back here. I want to say
Select table.
yes. Very good. Select star
From.
Table
instead
from.
of table. I can just write down
From.
transfer take student.
Student info.
If I enter, that was going to come.
Table will be.
Nothing. Because did you put in information in there?
Oh,
Yes.
no, we have to insert.
So I want to insert the information right now. Correct? So I want to insert the information. ভাইয়া আমাকে 2 মিনিট সময় দেন তারপর আপনার সাথে কথা বলছি 2 minutes. So I want to insert the information.
Select.
So what do I do?
Insert.
Why
Yes,
you keep saying
select.
select? Okay. I want to put insert into. What am I putting? Into. What's the
Transfer
table
student
name?
Info.
Transfer tech
underscore student.
underscore. That's why I didn't want to put the name that wrong. Students
Underscore.
underscore info. And what kind of information? We're putting a value, don't we? Values. And now exactly the way you wrote your character, your structure. So the first thing was what? 101. Wasn't that a number? Comma. Then what? But you have to put that in. Any kind of string comes in a quotation or single quotation, right? So first name is, let's put it, start with Sheikh in there. S-H-E-I-K-H. S-H-E-I-K-H. Sheikh. Comma, quotation mark, comma, last name is Rahman. So always a good practice, use 2 of them together, then use the cursor back in here. So that you don't forget to put it at the end. So this one is Rahman. Now you put a comma. What is the next one? Course, right? So we're gonna do a, let's say a
SQL.
QC course. QC, right? I'm making some mistake intentionally, by the way. Okay? Now, comma, and the fee is, let's say 200. For the number, you don't need quotations. So now what happens? You close the bracket. Remember we closed the bracket? Colon, enter. What does it say?
One error created.
Now if I go back to select everything from there, what does it say?
Nice table. Student information.
Student ID is 101. First name is Sheikh. Last name is Rahman. He took QC class. His pay is 200.
You said there's mistake. Wait.
No, QC.
Well, your first name is what?
Oh, okay.
Did I put capitalized? QC should be either both capitalized or single
Because it's
capitalized.
not case sensitive, it's SQL.
No, you're putting inserting the information. It's not about that. The commands are not case sensitive, but the information you're putting, however you put it, it goes in there. I can change it. I'm going to update it. That's why I made that mistake. Now my question is this: each one of you, since I'm talking to Bhai and Bhabi, I'm going to talk to you. I'm assuming you're husband and wife. Okay, good. So you guys gonna all come in and write, insert one information each of you and help each other. I want 5 information in there at least. So each table, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you 3 are together.
Okay.
3, 3, 3. Each person,
We make one row.
one row. So 5 tables, 5 rows on one. First of all, these all 5 rows, everybody, first name, right? Your first name and her last name. Her first name. Mila, actor name, right? Second column is like you and her first name, her first name. So you guys do it together. And courses you're gonna do SQL, you're gonna do QTP, ALM, load runner.
Selenium.
These are fine, and like and then this. And so SQL 700, QTP 1000,
Oh, okay.
ALM 500,
And change the fees too.
and LR. No, you don't have to change anything. Take it easy, it adds up more than $2,000. And LR is like 1100.
Oh, I thought the court.
We thought we got
Come in,
discount.
come in, each row, start. Wait, you come last. You come last, you come first.
No, he said he comes first.
Oh, who comes first?
Murad, Robin, and Murad, Robin, and Rocky.
Bro, this is nothing.
It's easy, yeah, I know.
The other stuff was hard.